ours, but now one of them is getting ready to compete as an adult, and the other two are in their first year of competing as an adult. And what I think is so great is all three of them have strong opinion, really want to try to help make the breed grow. So I'd like to first go around and have you guys introduce yourself and let us know your name and how you got involved with the racing horse.
My name is Sophie. I've been in this industry since I was 8 and I'm currently 21.
I'm Rene Ramirez Jr. and I've been in this industry for a while. Started with my grandpa years ago.
I'm Alexa. I've been showing since I was 6, I think, and I'm 20 now, so it's been a minute.
So I think all three of you probably have strong opinions of, you've seen it all probably at the U/Midsummer. Things that you loved about it, what made you love the breed. You maybe have opinions of how we could get more people you guys' age to get involved, or so they don't leave the breed. So why don't we start with just talking about U/Midsummer and what you think makes it such a special event.
Youth has always had a special place in my heart, and it's also a special place where future U.S. national riders essentially start. And it's no secret that the numbers have been declining, and I think a big part of that is there needs to be more unity in the community a little bit more.
And I think, I love youth nationals every single year growing up. That was the highlight of my summer. That's what I look forward to all year because it is such a community. And in this industry, if we can't keep the kids involved and get them to stick with it through the rest, that's kind of where we're going to start losing it. And that's where I came from, is I loved it as a kid and I'm never going to lose that. So it's keeping that community at youth and making it fun, wanting kids to go back every single day.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. I think youth is for sure something that all the kids look forward to, like when they do the show season and youth comes around, they get looking forward to the friends at youth and the water balloon fights and making that a fun experience for the kids to love the show and love to be there and have a great time.
So one thing I'd like to ask you guys just again, we understand by the pandemic brought into bringing in a midsummer show because there was no more shows to go to that year. And that was just when shows started to open up, so then midsummer was a success. I'd love to hear from you guys' perspective. Do you feel there should be adult classes at U/Midsummer, or what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think there's a lot that goes into that. I understand why it started, but I feel like we need to make it more youth-centered now. For example, Thursday night at youth, there's no kids classes. There's only adult classes. I think that's problematic because it makes it seem that it's more for the adults, the trainers rather than the kids. So I understand needing those adult classes there financially or to bring more people in, but maybe don't have select choice elite for the adults, maybe just have amateur for the country, amateur for the English.
I see two perspectives from it. I see that there's an opportunity for trainers who don't have kid clients to then have another opportunity to have their adults show in another show essentially throughout the year, right? But at the same time, what made youth such an amazing show was it was for the youth. We have the U.S. nationals for the adults, and then the kids get their own nationals, and it does somewhat take out the spark in youth, right?
Yeah, I think they kind of summed it up, but yeah, I agree. When I think it's great to have the adult classes, and I think it's great to, like Sophie said, for the trainers that can also get another national to go to. I do agree that youth still is a youth show, so I think pushing that on a little more would be great. But I also think having the amateurs there is also.
A lot of people say about maybe putting the midsummer part at the beginning and then you have the end, kind of how Scottsdale does it, which I wouldn't be overly opposed to. because also it's a long show. Parents are the ones funding this for the majority of the kids. They have to take off work, they have to take time away from their non-coursing members of the family for over a week in July. That takes vacation time, that takes a lot of time to be there. And so if the show was shorter or they put the adults first, it may be less time that people end up with.
And I guess that leads into a question for you guys too is, obviously certain divisions, maybe, and I hate to use main ring, not main ring, but main ring numbers may be going down a little bit. Like the ranch riding. I think ranch riding was the largest class at U/Midsummer. What do you think that the industry as a whole can do to get more kids involved with, the Arabian horse? Because obviously it starts at a lesson program. I mean, somewhere you have to develop the love. And how do we get more people involved?
I feel like this is a multi-level solution, essentially. First, we need to get more people into this industry, and by doing that, we need to have more entertainment, open up the shows a bit more to the public. Maybe working with local vendors as well. By then, we can use that extra money that is being brought into the horse shows to fund opportunities for riders that are just starting, such as sponsorship opportunities, or even we can work with our own barns as well to have a broader lesson programs. And the Arabians adopting the academy system has been working quite well actually.
Do either of you guys have any opinions on that?
Yeah, I think the lesson program, we actually have a lady at home that does lessons for us. It starts the younger generation. It's very cool to see all the little kids, riding for the first time, almost doing like little lead line lessons. And I think the lessons program is such a big thing, and the academy, that opens up a whole new level to things. And yeah, I'm a very, very, very strong believer in the lesson program.
I think the lesson program is where kind of all of it starts, especially when it comes to kids. And then also finding a way to get them to come see what this is all about on a national scale. Maybe even if they're not showing, have a sponsorship thing, or whoever can fundraise the most money or something like that, they get a free trip out to youth for the last weekend. So they can go watch the performance of the new sport horse riding in the main. They can see what they want to do. And that's where it all starts and get them interested in it. And also it's a way to find these middle of the range horses so that they can buy horses rather than it being so expensive that it's pushing people out of it.
Which, I guess that's something we can talk about right now is the cost factor. Like, obviously, to own a horse, to keep it at a facility, to pay training, to pay, the vet, to farrier, all the fees involved with it, it can become a little bit of a shell shocker to the non-horse person, no matter what your income bracket is. It's like, how much does it cost to keep a horse? What would be your thoughts? Again, like, if you were to make your living in the industry or carry it on, what is your thoughts? What could the industry do as a whole to make it so everybody has a way in the door to compete and to be a part of it versus, just as we like to label it, an elitist type deal?
Well, I think, one, obviously, horses, this is always going to be an expensive sport. That's just how it is. But right now we're in a weird spot where buying and selling horses, it's hard to sell that middle of the range horse. People either want the very end or bottom of the price bracket or the very top. And it's hard with that middle. And then also when it comes to shows, these national shows are long. Scottsdale is long. Obviously it's fun for a reason. But again, it's hard for people to be gone for this entire time. Like if there's a way to shorten everything up a little bit, I think more people would be willing to come, because for youth, for example, who really wants to be in Oklahoma City for over a week in the middle of July? It's hot, it's a lot, again, it's expensive. So I think if everything's shortened up a little bit and we find a way to sell these middle of the
throw this out to you guys because I've got quite a few years on you. So when I showed as a youth, there was no youth nationals. I came here, and this is a touchy subject with some people, but our breed is known for adding classes. We got a class for everything, right? Like you guys are the younger group here. When I showed, like there was no country division back then. There was English, and there was no, select, intermediate, or there was choice, select, choice, elite. There was none of that. There was just one class. That's what you showed in, and take it or leave it. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys like to see all these classes that they offer, or do you think it dilutes it a little bit?
I think it really showcases the diversity of what Arabian horses can do, and I think the main thing is we need a restructuring of how these classes are done, rather than try to take out classes and eliminate what's made the Arabian horse so amazing. That the horses themselves are athletes, just as we are as riders, and that being showcased is probably what makes the Arabian horse the Arabian horse. And someone coming from both the Arabian world, and I also rode saddlebreds for a majority of my life, having the horse do so many things allows riders to have one horse and be able to showcase it in different divisions rather than have to buy a horse for every division.
I agree with that, but while saying that, like for youth, for example, we have JO show hack, JT show hack, 13 or 14 and under show hack, 15 through 18 show hack, English side saddle, English and Western side saddle, Western side saddle, Western select, Western. They combine the choice and lead, which I think was a great decision. But now, like if you have a purebred country horse, you can show it in 10 classes at one show. And I was talking to some of the judges after you just trying to get their opinion on it. One of them said these horses look exhausted by the end of the show because they're going in so many classes, which I get. Pay this money to a horse to show you want to show. But for me, maybe this is a personal opinion. I would rather go in a class where everyone's showing together and it really means something to win that or get that top 10, rather than go in a class and there's not us.
I can see where you're coming from. I think that what a conflict that can arise, because we have a JTR and a JOTR. Riders that are leasing horses, right? They don't own the horse. People who own horses do have a slight advantage because they know their horses a little bit better than those who are leasing them. But I do agree that having so many classes, it can really tire out a horse. The horse can be exhausted. And at the end of the day, we are the riders. We have to do what is best for our horses, right? So there should be somewhat of a limit, but having a JTR and a JOTR is definitely helpful in this industry.
I agree, with having one, if let's say you take one horse and put in all the classes because you took them all that way, and from coming from California or Arizona, but I think we got to be better about thinking about the horse, because you get some of these people who want to put their horse in everything, and at the end of the show the horse is just completely knocked out, laying down in the stall. You go home, you have to give it time off. I think that's a big thing that I've seen.
Okay, so this is a question for you guys, because obviously you're young, you're the future of our breed, you want to make your living in the breed, you want to show as an amateur, and you want to show as an amateur. Okay, so as a youngster, I know you both have said you want to have your voice heard. What do you think the industry could do as a whole to allow a younger person to get involved? you know, because it's not an easy open, you know, they don't, it's like, you gotta, I don't know, I used to hear, you gotta pay your dues, you gotta work your way up. So as a younger person, how do you feel? Because you are our future, and I mean, the numbers speak for itself. This week we've been here, and there's been sections, a lot of section cut. Like, that's probably alarming. I've had a few people say to me, I'm concerned about that because, you know, the middle age division should not be a semifinal final. It should have enough to have sections in it. So as a young person, what do you guys think the industry can do to allow your voice to be heard? Or,
I think one thing that would be great would to open up internships for those in the youth that want to get involved, such as being able to shadow a regional commission, or it also doesn't have to be so technical either. Doing the little things such as spreading awareness about the breed on social media, or even if you, a good example actually would be a writer named Tyranny, who is currently involving herself in the more all breeds spaces, and she's essentially representing the Arabian rider, and I do believe that Arabian riders do have a certain rider style about them. They have a lot of stamina because they have to deal with these horses that have so many diverse personalities. They're very adaptive to the horses that they ride, and I feel like she's showcasing that to a wider audience as well. And just doing that also brings a lot of awareness to the breed and what our riders can do.
I mean, I think we all know this. I don't have any issue with my voice getting known. I will talk to anyone and everyone. To the point I should probably shut up half the time. But I think that's one thing I don't love about our industry is like we are a big family here. Or I think so at least. I love cheering everyone on. And for example, like the Wheeler, I think this is a great step. A place where everyone can go and hang out and meet new people. I think that's really important for people coming up as well. So for someone who's not like me, for example, I've been in this my whole life, I know a lot of people here, but if someone who's new, they can come up here and hang out with people, meet new people, and realize how great everyone is. I think that's really important. And then also when it comes to the show, right, yes, we are here. The goal is to win. Like, it's a competition. That's what we want to do. But there's so much more that happen. It is the community, getting more people on that side rather than need to win. That's it. It's having fun and making friends, and especially with the youth. That's what I think is most important. Like, yes, the trophy will last forever, but the friendships you make are really what's going to last a lifetime.
this is our future of the breed here, and I really thank you guys for taking the time today to visit about it. I wish you all the best of luck this week. You were a champion last night, and I'm sure some of you guys will have champions later in the week. So again, thank you guys, and good luck the rest of the week.